Once upon a time, there was a traveling circus that went from town to town, delighting audiences with their incredible performances. The circus was made up of acrobats, clowns, jugglers, tightrope walkers, and exotic animals. People came from far and wide to see the circus, and it was always a grand event when it arrived in town. The circus was led by a man named Giovanni, who had been a circus performer all his life. He had started out as a young boy, traveling with his family's circus, and had learned all the skills he needed to become a circus owner. Giovanni was a tough but fair boss, and he loved his circus more than anything. The performers in the circus were like a family, and they traveled together in a brightly painted caravan. Each performer had their own special talents, and they worked together to put on incredible shows every night. The acrobats performed daring feats high up in the air, while the clowns made everyone laugh with their silly antics. The tightrope walkers performed death-defying stunts, while the jugglers showed off their incredible hand-eye coordination. And the exotic animals, including lions, tigers, elephants, and monkeys, amazed audiences with their wild antics. But despite the joy the circus brought to so many people, it wasn't always easy for Giovanni and his performers. They traveled long distances, often through harsh weather and difficult terrain. They had to deal with the occasional town that didn't want them, or with audiences that were less than appreciative. And there was always the danger of injury or accident during performances. But through it all, Giovanni and his performers persevered. They loved what they did, and they knew how important it was to bring joy to people's lives. And so they continued to travel from town to town, always putting on the best show they could. One day, however, disaster struck. While the circus was traveling through a particularly treacherous mountain pass, a sudden storm blew up. The wind was so strong that it blew over some of the caravans, and the animals were terrified. The performers did their best to calm the animals and protect their belongings, but it was a losing battle. In the end, the circus had to cancel its upcoming shows, and Giovanni had to make the difficult decision to sell some of the animals to cover the cost of repairs. It was a heartbreaking time for everyone involved, but they knew they had to keep going. And so, the circus continued to travel from town to town, but it was never quite the same. They had lost some of their most beloved animals, and they were all a little more cautious after the accident. But they still put on incredible shows, and they continued to bring joy to people's lives wherever they went. In the end, the circus became a legend, known far and wide for its incredible performances and the resilience of its performers. And even though the circus eventually closed its doors, its memory lived on, a testament to the power of human determination and the joy of the circus.